Traveling overseas is certainly rewarding for anyone. The opportunity to encounter cultures and nations different from your own can prove enlightening and educational. Whether one travels for leisure, to study, or for work, it is certainly true that overseas travel can be valuable and enriching to one's personal development and understanding of the wider world. That has certainly been my case. I love traveling, especially in Europe, where old towns, art galleries, beautiful churches, and historical monuments dominate the landscape. My experiences abroad have also shaped my historical interests, and in reverse, my historical interests have shaped my travels. Historians tell a similar and fascinating story too. Whether public or academic, the historian must travel frequently to better understand their field of study. That's the topic of this video: why historians travel. The reasons may include archives, language learning, ethnography, cultural immersion, presenting research, and tourism. Let's discover the many reasons why historians travel abroad. I'm Madeleine Rose-Jones, and I study history, literature, and culture. Welcome to Snowy Fictions. First, historians frequently need access to archives, the collection of documents and records relevant to a topic studied by the historian. These collections can be privately stored or by a government body and are typically stored away. It's best to understand archives as helping the historian for primary source research. Good history writing, remember, requires both primary and secondary sources. Archives may contain birth certificates, government memos, postcards, maps, letters, and census data, just to name a few. Some archives are small, whilst others are massive. Historians must travel overseas to reach some archives, and frequently do. A good example of foreign archives being used is Stalin's War by Sean McMahon. He undertook archival research in Germany, Russia, the United States, and Great Britain. If you have a history book nearby, find the bibliography at the back and see if any archives have been listed. This is typically the case especially for modern history books. The nature of archives means not all items have been digitalized, as there are simply so many, and creating a proper record takes time and money. So often, encounters with the archives means the historian using auxiliary skills like paleography, which is the study of handwriting. Due to the delicate nature of these items, archives usually have strict rules about what you can bring in, and in some cases, photograph inside. Archives can vary on the local, state, and federal level, whilst there is usually not a centralized system for permission and research. Time overseas is always limited for the historian, so they are best to know what exactly they are looking for. The information in the archives, however, is typically not in English. That's where language learning comes in. Languages are critical to the study of history, and if you are interested in learning more, I have a video about why historians learn languages. It's also true that you do not need to go overseas to learn a certain language. We live in an age of digital information and content, and rest assured, I have my recommendations listed below. Yet for historians who do choose to travel overseas, this can be a great opportunity to brush up on their language skills or to take an intensive class. The chance to immerse yourself in a foreign language, as well as to challenge yourself and learn about, say, German, will eventually help the historian understand both primary and secondary sources. Historians are not alone either. Every year, many travel overseas specifically to learn a language. They may work for the government, be polyglots, literary scholars, or just simply self-motivated learners. The time needed abroad to learn a language is certainly up for debate. Some historians may spend a few weeks, whereas others opt for years. If you are planning to learn a language abroad, which is so cool, it's probably best to do prior preparation and study before going onto that plane. Whilst overseas, you'll encounter peoples and cultures different from your own. That's where cultural immersion and ethnography come in, where historians develop their understanding about various nations and the ways others live and interact with the wider world. This is certainly an anthropological point, but it is an important one, as it is through observation and having a keen eye that we can grasp how the world works. Some activities a historian may do include interviewing witnesses, observing religious rituals, going to cultural celebrations, or taking photographs of heritage sites in their current state. If you were, say, a historian about the Catholic Church, it may interest you to go to Vatican City, Rome around Christmas, Lent, or before a new pope is declared. Even if you are more focused on the Italian Renaissance, the Spanish Empire, or the Counter-Reformation, it helps to understand the presence your field has in the present day. As it is the 21st century, there are many opportunities for a historian to reach new audiences and meet people. Travel is obviously the obvious opportunity. An academic historian will attend conferences and seminars in foreign universities, whereas a more public-geared historian may be involved in the making of a documentary or give a performance. The best example of the latter is Dominic, Sandbrook and Tom Holland's podcast, The Rest is History. This duo have performed across the world, bringing their knowledge of history with them. If they are making a documentary like Mary Beard does for History Hit and Odyssey sometimes, the historian will need to know the destination in depth and can illuminate aspects of it to a broad audience. Historians can find value in these professional activities for their career, but also in raising awareness about their field of study. And lastly, tourism. This is a massive factor of travel today, and remember, historians are also people too. Many use their travels not as an extension of research, but as a way for leisure and escapism. Some often find their travels help connect them to their field of study. Historians can also be tour guides and tour planners, and many frequently help tour companies with itineraries and heritage management. This is certainly the case for ancient history, where sites such as Ephesus in Turkey and Pompeii in Italy require factual information and the ability to answer questions. Historians may also be travel writers and incorporate their travels into their research. But back to you. Have you travelled overseas? If so, have these encounters shaped your historical interests? Comment below. I'd love to read your thoughts and start a discussion. I also have a mailing list, creative writing classes, and a blog linked below. Please subscribe for frequent videos on history, literature, and culture. I aim to show a different approach to the humanities, one unmoored by groupthink, elitism, and credentialism. I hope for you to join me. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.